What is up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a brief hiatus from our regular scheduled photography videos, and today I've surrounded myself with a bunch of shoes, a bunch of mostly Asics shoes, but I figured now would be a pretty good time in the year at least to do kind of a 2025 shoe rotation video. So that's kind of the plan for this one. Mainly just going to be briefly touching on kind of the shoes I got around me. I won't be going into too much detail on all these shoes. It's kind of just going to be a general overview and hopefully giving you guys some kind of tips and ideas for maybe putting together your own shoe rotation. But we're pretty much coming into fall now for 2025. It's August, beginning of August here in Wisconsin. So yeah, I just figured it'd be a good time to do this kind of annual shoe rotation video, and I've been slowly building this out. So yeah, I'll kind of just touch on a little bit of background with just kind of running shoes in general and just my own experiences with running shoes, giving you guys some kind of ideas here and there for maybe making your own selections and stuff like that. But I do want to classify this as kind of like a budget-friendly shoe rotation video, because I am not a shoe YouTuber, a shoe tuber, as they like to call them. But yeah, so I don't, I'm not out there constantly picking up running shoes all the time. I really just look for kind of shoes that can do a variety of things a lot of the times, and shoes that are very durable, that can hold up to a lot of daily training miles and whatnot. So I'm not out there spending a whole bunch of money on shoes all the time. But over the course of 2024 and 2025 now, I've kind of built up a decent amount of shoes that I like to use and that I've ran in. So it'd be a good opportunity for this kind of video. So hopefully a lot of these kind of options can be within a general, a decent price range of a selection for you guys out there. Because yeah, I'm not one to be dumping a whole lot of money into running shoes all the time. But now that I do have kind of a stable, a good job and everything, I'm working my tail off and everything, bringing in some money, I can put a little bit more money into running shoes and kind of just getting more of them. So that's kind of what I've been doing over the past year and a half or so. So yeah, that's kind of that. But just to give you guys kind of a refresher on my own kind of running level and background, my own paces. So I generally, like, my easy recovery pace is anything from like a 7:30 mile to an 8-minute mile. Anything past like an 8-minute mile is going to be pretty much recovery for me. My steady paces out there is usually anything from like 7 flat to 7:30 a mile. And then my tempo paces, hang on, I wrote this down. I wrote down some notes, but my tempo paces it's like 6:20 to 7 flat. And then if I'm doing like a fartlek mile, like my fartlek mile paces for like an up-tempo, more of an up-tempo workout is going to be, 6 flat to that 6:20 range for those harder miles. And then my really hard miles, anything under 6 flat is pretty much my range of paces that I like to work through. So hopefully that can give you guys a general idea of my own running level. But I do want to focus this, or I do want to kind of aim this video at towards the the general runner, someone who's not taking it crazy seriously. But a lot of these shoes I think could work for a lot of you guys out there as well. And then I have ran a 3:06 marathon earlier this spring in this shoe right here, the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris, and I did a bit of a review on that, kind of in that marathon video as well. So but yeah, that was back in May of this year. So, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys have kind of, if you're running out there, I'm sure a lot of you are pounding through those summer miles right now, getting out there in the heat, sweating your butt off. And yeah, I certainly have been doing that as well. And that's kind of the reason why I've been stacking some more shoes recently. So yeah, let's just get into it here. I guess first off, I do want to touch on and kind of aiming this more again at the budget-friendly people. So realistically, I mean, before 2024, I mean, I pretty much only ran in like one pair of shoes, and that was pretty much the Asics Gel-Kayano model or series. This is the Gel-Kayano 28, so this is a throwback. I don't even know the release year of this. Could have been like 2020 or something like that. But before 2024, I pretty much strictly only ran in like one pair of shoes. I wasn't inclined to go out there and buy a bunch of different pairs of shoes. So I pretty much strictly only ran in the Asics Gel-Kayano 28 here. And then throughout all of my like high school cross-country track training, I pretty much also only ran in like the Asics Gel-Kayano series. And I really like this shoe. This is kind of a sleeper. I didn't even know it was really a stability shoe when I first started picking it up back in the high school days. Way back when, I didn't even know it was a stability shoe. I just thought it felt really good, and it carried me through all those high school years, a lot of training years, and you can just wear this shoe. I haven't picked up the newer models. I know they're more cushioned. Pretty much a lot of things after like 2022 and 2023 really started to get a lot more cushioned, and that's kind of what you guys are seeing here with the Asics Novablast 5 and the Asics Superblast 2 there. Those are more newer versions or newer models. But you can really see like there's just a lot less cushioning on these earlier models. But yeah, that's pretty much this shoe. The Gel-Kayano series really took me through a ton of miles throughout high school, and it was pretty much my go-to shoe. So if you guys are looking for something that's not really a stability shoe, but does have stability elements within it, and this is a really, really good option. It can be a little bit more pricey with those newer versions. I think they retail around like $165, $170 for those newer versions. But if you want to pick up an older version and you don't mind less cushioning, definitely look around for them. They're really, really nice, and definitely a classic for me personally. And then just another quick note here. I did run in this brick of a shoe. This is the Asics GT-2000. I ran in this for pretty much 1 year or maybe a year and a half. And you guys will notice too, I really put shoes through the ringer. I will run them up to like 300, 400 miles. I really don't care. I pretty much just run them till they're dead. And I ran in this thing for like a year and a half, the GT-2000. Really would not recommend it as a running shoe. I picked it up for like $80 back in college. It was just in the store, so I just picked it up. But it's pretty much just like a walking shoe, to be honest. It doesn't really feel very good. I never really got a lot of excitement out there running in it. So it's just a bit of a brick for sure. It's a really good walking shoe though, and I just use like that old Kayano, and then this for like just walking around nowadays. So those are just some quick precursors to before we're getting into the kind of my 2025 lineup here. So yeah, realistically, if you're like a high school runner, you want to pick up the Kayano, that's definitely a good option for a little bit of stability elements. And then, obviously you'll have your race spikes and whatnot. But let me get a drink of water here. So yeah, that's a bit of a background of my own running shoe history. And let me just check the video quick. All right. We good. So yeah, that's just a bit of just wanted to touch on that background a little bit for anyone that's new or new to running or whatever, doesn't really know about my own kind of running shoe background. But let's get into the kind of the 2024 and my 2025 lineup that I've been recently working with. And for the most part, guys, I've really just stuck with like Asics throughout a lot of my running history. Asics have just always, like I mentioned again, I ran in them in high school. They've just always really agreed with me. I'll mention a couple other pairs of shoes here that I've tried out, but for the most part, I just really enjoy Asics shoes. I like running in them a lot, so that's kind of gonna be a lot of this selection here. So honestly, let's just start off. So 2024, I picked up the Asics Novablast 4 here. This carried me through a lot of my kind of fall winter training throughout 2024. Really rode it into the ground, ran through the winter months in this thing outside and on the treadmill. It really held up very well. I don't really track my miles on my shoes, but it held up really well. I will say, once it stopped feeling good, it really stopped feeling good really quickly. So it went dead really fast. This foam is just there's really not much left, not much pop left at all left in this thing. And yeah, it's just but really comfortable shoe. I did change out the laces because I was getting some lace bunching and kind of some lace tightness there around the ankle or the top of the ankle. So I just changed out the laces on it a bit. I know other people were doing that as well. But really good shoe overall, and you guys will see I have the Asics Novablast 5 here. So you guys obviously, I like this shoe, so I got the next version. But this took me through a lot of the fall 2024 and winter training up to the spring May marathon in 2025. But yeah, it goes dead pretty quick. I will say once that foam starts to go, definitely switch them out. I probably ran on this thing too long and got some mild shin splints from it, to be honest. So yeah, just something to note. But pretty stable shoe, pretty wide, and yeah, comfortable. You guys can see I do have a lot of like kind of sweat stains up there. It's not the most breathable, but definitely has worked well for me. And then I picked up the so this has been an absolute staple for me, and this thing is wet because I just ran it this morning for a 15-mile long run. Yeah, so I really do want to stress that kind of my main point for this video is realistically, I think like your best option is to have at least 2 pairs of shoes, one for kind of your easy recovery miles and then one for your more up-tempo mileage work. And really with just 2 pairs of shoes, you can work with that a lot of the times. And those 2 pairs for me, for a lot of that marathon buildup, was the Novablast 4 here, and then the Superblast 2 I purchased earlier this year off of the Asics website, retailed for $200. So this has been an absolute staple. These 2 shoes have been a staple for me personally. They took me through a ton of that marathon training for the lacrosse marathon in early May of this year. So I do want to kind of stress that point, though, that realistically, I mean, you hear, I browse YouTube and the internet all the time, and, you see shoe rotations that are like 5 shoes deep, 4 or 5 shoes deep or more. And you do not have to go that far. I mean, you can only have 1 pair. Like I mentioned, I ran in 1 pair of shoes for a ton of my early running training, and then it's only been more recently that I've started to pick up more pairs. So realistically, though, I'd say you're really good with at least 2 pairs. Like, you're pretty much good to go. You can work in, other shoes and kind of build up to more pairs once you start like trying out other models and such. But that's kind of really the main point I want to make here, is that you really only need like 2 pairs of shoes to get a ton of really good training in. And for me personally, that had for like the past year and a half, it's been the Novablast series and then this Superblast 2. And so yeah, I'll talk about the Superblast 2 here for a second. This is basically Asics dedicated this as like their long run trainer, kind of their super trainer almost. It's got that FF Turbo Plus foam, which is a newer type of foam that Asics has been working into their newer models of shoes here. Very responsive foam. It's a pretty firm shoe. I've heard mixed reviews, honestly, from people about this shoe. Some people love it or some people hate it. There's no really in between there. You're either gonna love it or you hate it. I guess. But yeah, And as you guys can maybe see, this colorway here, so the color you're seeing, it's a lot darker than what it should be, and it's because this thing is, yeah, like I said, it's wet with my sweat right now. It's not, I will say, so it's super humid out here in the Midwest. I'm in Wisconsin. It can get incredibly humid throughout the summer months. I mean, it's common that we get 80 to 90% humidity, you know, on average, anything in that range, and that's pretty high humidity. And yeah, this thing is not very breathable. I'll just say that. That's basically like the only flaw that I have experienced with it. Everything else has been stellar, but it's not very breathable. This upper here, it's not like any breathable mesh material. I don't know what this is called, if this is like a jacquard or something, I don't know, but it's not very breathable. So if you do live in a very humid climate like I do in the summer months especially, you guys will definitely notice your feet will be sweating for sure. But to be honest, it's not that big of a It's not that big of a deal for me. The shoe still feels amazing. Like I said, I just took it for a 15-mile long run this morning, and it's very responsive. The foam is great, extremely durable. This thing is probably over 300 miles right now. I took these shoes probably to like 400. This is probably over 300. It feels honestly pretty close to how they felt when I first got them. I've heard people taking these up to like 1,000 kilometers or something like that, something crazy like that. So I guess they're extremely durable, but it is a pretty firm foam. Like this foam it's firm. So you do have to kind of get used to that. But I will say, the more miles you put into them, the better they get. Honestly, the more you kind of get accustomed to them. The rocker's nice, and yeah, you can hit some. They may seem like a brick, like they may seem pretty big, but you can take them up to some pretty up-tempo paces. So that's the Superblast 2, and then kind of paired with that, this was a relatively recent pickup, but the Novablast 5 here, this has been a really nice upgrade from the Novablast 4. I've really enjoyed running in this shoe. I've put in a ton of miles just in this pair and then the Superblast 2. So yeah, I basically retired these, the fours, picked up the 5s, and then these two pairs here have been pretty much my go-tos for running for the past 6 months or so here. But yeah, the 5s are definitely softer than the 4s. They have a little bit better traction, I feel like. The fit is very, very nice, extremely comfortable. I've heard they are definitely squishy. So if you're not really used to like a squishier shoe, it may take a little bit of getting used to, but they're not like a marshmallow. So they're squishy in the sense of like they pop a little bit more. So you can definitely use these for like your up-tempo days, or you can use these for recovery miles as well. It's a very versatile shoe. Picked it up for $140 at Dick's Sporting Goods. The 4s I ordered I got them from Rogan Shoes department store. And then yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods, ordered these online. So, but yeah, picked these up at Dick's for $140, and yeah, these are competing honestly for like one of the best daily trainers of 2025. It's got that Flight Foam Blast Max foam in there, which is again one of their newer products of foam that Asics has for this year. They're incorporating it into a lot of their models. The 4s was just FF Blast Plus. So this is the Blast Max, just a little bit squishier, a little bit softer, and a little bit more pop. But I like the redesign of the shoe as well. Very breathable too. I'd say it's just breathable. It's decent. It's not like crazy, but yeah, very good, versatile trainer. You can use these for pretty much everything. If you want to get one pair of shoes, I would definitely look at these, the Novablast 5s, because yeah, you can do pretty much anything in them. I've used them for recovery miles, anything up to fartlek workout, where I'm hitting some like 6 flats. Okay. And then so I'll bring up these guys here. This is kind of so we're kind of getting more into some more specified shoe options here. So actually, before I get into this, so basically, want to make this main point again for this video. You guys, yeah, just really kind of think about getting two pairs of shoes. Starting off with, that one really versatile daily trainer, you know, something that can do everything, and then maybe something that's just a little bit more up tempo, or maybe like a max cushion trainer for your long runs. And this kind of does a little bit of both of that. This is definitely max cushion. This is like 42 millimeters, I believe, in the back here. So 42 millimeters of stack height of foam there. So it is definitely max cushion. You could even consider the Novablast 5 max cushion. But yeah, you can either get just like a daily trainer that can handle everything, and then some sort of up tempo or like max cushion long run shoe to do that. But kind of just want to stress that point. But let's get into more specified options here. So I did pick this up over the winter of 2025. This is the Asics Fujispeed 2. The Fujispeed 2, right? Yeah, I think this is a Fujispeed 2. But this is a trail running shoe. You guys can see the nice lugs there on the bottom. This is kind of classified as a up-tempo trail running shoe. So I've seen people use these for like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathon of trail work out there. But this is not a whole lot of stack height, so it's kind of a low rider, a little bit of a low rider. But I picked this up basically for the winter training months to get out there in the snow. I would have a little bit of grip, and it held up. It's held up very well for me, and I've been using this a ton just for trail work now in the summer. There's some nice trails over here in La Crosse where I'm at, and yeah, this thing does really well out there. Pretty stable. It's not the most comfortable shoe for sure, but it definitely holds up in the trails and as well over the winter months. I will say it is very breathable. So during those winter months, your feet can maybe get a bit cold because this thing is kind of got a race fit to it. It's got some nice mesh upper here, so it is very breathable, which makes it a good option for kind of that summer trail running. But really nice shoe, good shoe for the trails, and I do like to work in some trail mileage there. And it does have a carbon fiber plate running through it here, so it gives a bit of that gives a bit of support through that plate, and then also some more pop. But yeah, I was just looking for a trail running shoe that was a little bit less stack height. That could just a little bit less stack height. I didn't want a ton of foam on there. And then I wanted something that could hold up in the slick during the winter, and then something obviously for the trails during the summer. And it's done really well for me. I don't have a ton of miles on this because it's more specified, but I really no problems in this thing. I did roll my ankle once in this on like one of the very first runs I ran. But that was honestly kind of my fault. I was taking kind of a weird step during that. But yeah, it's been a really good shoe. And if you guys are looking for something, I picked this up for like around $100. It was on sale on the Asics website. I don't know where you can pick this up currently, but I did get it on sale for like $100. And it's done really well for me. So yeah, just a quick note there. Let me get some water. But yeah, I basically mixed that in during the winter, and then it's just become a good trail running shoe for me this year. So let's go to the Clifton 10. So this is the first Hoka shoe and the only Hoka shoe. Only, I guess, pretty much the only non-Asics shoe that I'm showing here. But this is the first Hoka shoe that I've actually purchased, and the most recent purchase that I have made, actually. I picked this up at Dick's about only like a few weeks ago. This was $160, something like that. But picked it up at Dick's. in this nice orange and white colorway. It's kind of got that fall vibe to it. Really cool looking shoe. I like the colorway a lot. But yeah, this is the first Hoka shoe that I have tried out. I've been loving it so far. And the reason I got it was I have really needed a just strict recovery shoe in my lineup. I've really wanted one for a long time. The Novablast 5 kind of acted like my recovery shoe for quite some time there, but after a while, just this thing does have a lot of pop. So on my days where my legs are just super beat up and I wanted something, to be honest, just boring. I wanted like a boring shoe that had a nice kind of just plush ride to it and a nice slab of foam that didn't have a lot of gimmicks, something that I could just take out there and get the miles done, not really think about it too much, just going at a very kind of slow recovery pace. And I think these shoes, honestly, if you're a newer runner, you're just getting into running, yeah, I think this could honestly be a pretty good option. The Clifton 10, this is Hoka's most popular model of their shoes. It's just kind of their daily trainer, and this is just a EVA foam, so it's kind of an old school foam. This EVA type foam, it's been used forever, but it's kind of getting phased out a little bit more in newer models nowadays. But old school foam here does have a very nice ride. The rocker is great. That's kind of one of the staples that Hoka shoes have that I've read about, is that the rocker, so the transition from toe or from heel to toe, is really nice in these, and I've noticed that as well. It's really nice. I really don't have to think about running too much, my actual form when I'm in these. They're just, they're wide, they're stable, and just a nice kind of easy cruiser. So yeah, if you guys are looking at, you guys are a newer runner, or you want just a strict recovery shoe that can handle a ton of miles, definitely the Hoka Clifton 10. I would say these probably get a little bit chunky, a little bit blocky after like an hour of running in them. I've taken them past an hour of running, taken them up to like an hour 15, and they held up fine. But they might just feel a little bit big, I guess, once you get past that hour mark. But regardless, really good shoe. Been liking it a lot. First Hoka shoe I've owned. And it's been treating me really well for those days where my legs are just completely beat to crap. So, but yeah, that easy day recovery, strict recovery day shoe is something that I've really wanted in my kind of lineup. So purchased that just a few weeks ago at Dick's Sporting Goods. I didn't want to pay shipping or anything, so I just went out to the store and bought them. Okay, working our way towards the end here, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Appreciate it. So some two or three left. A little bit more obscure shoes here. I don't wear these shoes very much at all, to be honest. These are more kind of specified shoes, again, kind of like the Fujispeed, but I do wear the Fujispeed more just because I hit the trails a bit more. But last year, I picked up this Evoride Speed. No, this is the Fujispeed 3. This is the Evoride Speed 2. That's what I got messed up. So that's the Fujispeed 3. This is the Evoride Speed 2. And I didn't really know much about this shoe at all, to be honest. I just saw it on sale on the Asics website. And I picked it up for like $80. And I've used this shoe pretty much just for like my track workouts and any like fartlek workouts that are like 6-7 miles. It's again more of a low rider, so less stack height. It's a nimble shoe, kind of got that race fit, and I would say it's just I would class it as just a kind of a basic up tempo shoe. It doesn't have a carbon fiber plate or anything. It just has a flight foam blast in there, so it is older foam. The ride doesn't feel like crazy or anything like that. It just really just has a nice kind of heel to toe rocker there, and that's pretty much it. But it's just a light, nimble shoe. I just like to use this thing for like my track workouts or my fartlek miles, but nothing really crazy with this thing. Not a lot going on with it, but a good shoe just for some quicker miles. and if you want something that has a little bit less stack height. But I don't wear this too much. Just kind of saw it on sale for like 80 bucks, like I said, and just decided to pick it up there. And then, okay, so kind of lastly here is just my race day shoe. I kind of touched on this in my marathon video, but this is the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris. Grab the other pair here. But this was, yeah, I wore these for the marathon on race day. Picked these up off the Asics website for retail $275, I believe. And I won't go into these too much because I basically already did a video on them. But yeah, my race day shoe for my marathon. I'm probably going to pick up another race day shoe, to be honest, just try out a different pair because these didn't agree with me too well. Yeah, it's just a very aggressive. I just found it to be a pretty aggressive shoe for me, so I might try something else for my next marathon, to be honest. But this is my race day shoe. It's basically a top of the line Asics shoe here, the Metaspeed Sky Paris, and I kind of covered this in full in that marathon review. That is that, and that is pretty much all the shoes, guys. But again, the main kind of the main lineup here pretty much is just the Novablast 5, the Superblast 2, and then the Clifton 10. Those are kind of the main three that I've really kind of been working through for the easy day miles, the kind of whatever miles, whatever I want to do miles in these things, and then the Superblast 2 for the long runs. I will do a quick shout out, quick mention here. Hang on, 1 second, I need to check something. I think we're good. One quick note here on the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. So I did pick these up last summer, but they just really did not agree with me. Something with the Achilles. My Achilles just did not feel very stable back here with these shoes. A ton of people love these shoes, and the 5s just came out. They're extremely popular shoes. The ride itself felt great. The foam felt great, very poppy and peppy shoe. It's got a nylon plate, plastic plate in there. You guys can kind of see. But this is a very popular shoe. I think a lot of you guys will probably like this. But for me personally, just something with the Achilles. My Achilles just did not feel very good running in the shoe. But I did take this up to like 50 miles or so. So I did run in it quite a bit. I wanted to make it work. But it just didn't work for me. It just didn't really agree with me too much. So just a quick note, I can probably do a whole separate video on this shoe, but yeah, just kind of interesting. Didn't really agree with me, but it is a great shoe, very popular for, kind of any up tempo miles. All right, that is all of them, guys. That is all of them. Oh, I hope I didn't crackle there on the mic. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, so that's all the shoes, guys. That's pretty much the 2025 lineup and what I've been working with. Again, for the most part, it's mainly been like the Novablast 5, the Clifton 10 most recently for those easy recoveries, and then the Superblast 2 for those long runs and, up tempo as well. So pretty much those three, those are going to be the set, and then race day, for the occasional race. But Novablast series has been great for me. Obviously, I love Asics shoes. They've treated me very, very well over the years. They're just kind of my go-to brand. They always have been. But I've been looking at other stuff, other brands as well. Kind of been trying to work in, with these Hokas most recently, and then I want to get like maybe a pair of Nikes eventually too. So gonna try and work in some other brands in here as well. But this video has gone on long enough. I know this is we kind of touched on everything here. These are pretty much all my shoes, all my running shoes that I've had out most recently. So just wanted to give you guys that overview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully kind of my own insights and experiences with these shoes can give you guys just a little bit of a background into your own lineup and your own kind of ideas and thoughts about what you'd kind of like to work with when you're doing your running out there. I'll probably be doing covering some other running topics in other videos as well. I could bring these shoes out individually for reviews and go into them in more detail, but wanted to give you guys a general overview of everything I've been working with so far this year. So hope you guys are getting out there, having fun, doing your summer training, summer mileage, and getting your photos in if you're doing any photos, and just enjoying the last few weeks of summer here. So, but yeah, that'll do it for me, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. As always, I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.